Welcome to this course on technical analysis. Today we're going to be talking about how to read a stock chart. It's important to get the basics down because we'll be using these basics throughout the course. So let's talk about stock charts. There are a variety of types of stock charts you can use, and we'll be looking at some real-world examples in just a moment. Some of the types include a line chart, a bar chart, and a candlestick chart. I'll show you the line chart and the bar chart, as well as the candlestick chart, but throughout the course we're going to be using candlesticks as our main charting tool. And in just a second I'll go over the graph on the left to describe how a candlestick works. A stock chart shows a daily, hourly, or weekly, or by the minute movement of a stock and provides the open, high, low, and close for the time period. So if you're looking at a daily chart, then each bar or candlestick is going to represent one day. If you're looking at an hourly chart, then each of those would represent an hour on the chart. A line chart, which we'll see in just a minute, gives the closing price for the time period you're looking at. So if you're looking at a daily chart, it'll give you the closing price for the day. Charts are important because they allow you to determine if the stock is in an uptrend, a downtrend, or a consolidation pattern, which basically means moving sideways between two prices. So let's talk a second about the candlesticks on the left. We'll have two types of candlesticks, a red candlestick and a green candlestick. And these will be the predominant candlesticks on a candlestick chart. You can have a candlestick which is neither red or green, which basically means the stock opened and closed at the same price for the day. Let's talk about the design of the candlestick. You'll have a green or red body, which is shown here. That's the body of the candlestick. And then you'll have a wick. You can have a wick on the top and a wick on the bottom of the candlestick. Each of these is a wick. So for our green candlestick, the top point of the wick is the high price for the stock during that time period. And for this example, I'll use a daily time period. So this is the high price for the day. The high part of the green body is where the stock closed for the day. The low part of the green body is where the stock opened on the day. And then the low part of the wick beneath the body is the low for the day. The red candlestick is very similar. The high part of the wick on top is the high for the day. But with a red candlestick, the stock has opened in the body at the top of the red body, and it closed for the day at the bottom part of the red body. The bottom wick represents the low price for the day. And we'll see candlesticks over and over on the charts. So if you're a little confused right now, that's okay, because we'll be going over these quite a bit. So let's take a look at a couple of stock charts where I can show you the line chart, the bar chart, and the candlestick chart, and also show you what a trend looks like in a stock. Throughout the course, we're going to use TradingView.com to show charts. So I'll show you how TradingView works and how we can look at various charts using TradingView. In the upper left corner, we'll put in the symbol for our stock. So here we've typed in BAC for Bank of America. You can choose the stock from a drop-down list. The next box over gives us our time frame. So in this case, we're looking at a daily chart. We can look at a chart by the minute, by the 15-minute, 45-minute, hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly. As I said, here we're using a daily chart. The next box over tells us the type of chart that we're going to be looking at. So we're first going to look at a line chart. And the line chart gives you the closing price for the day. If you look at the top of the chart, it will tell you on the day that you're looking at what the open, the O is the open, H is the high, and the prices are changing because as I move the cursor, it's moving from day to day. The low for the day and the close for the day. So if we pick a day, we can look at the bottom of the chart. It'll give us the day. So on July 13th of 2018, the stock opened at 28.62. The high for the day was 28.69. The low for the day was 28.22, and the close for the day was 28.55. This will be true on all the types of charts we look at, on the line chart, the bar chart, and the candlestick chart, that it will give you the day at the bottom and the open, high, low, and close at the top. So now let's look at a bar chart. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see the bars. So if we look at the bar chart, it's in two different colors, red or green. The red shows a down day, and the green shows an up day. On the left side of each bar will be the open price. You'll see the horizontal bar, which represents the open price. On the right side is a horizontal bar that represents the closing price. Just like with candlesticks, the high of the day is represented by the top of the bar chart, and the low of the day is represented by the bottom of the bar chart. So on this day, August 13th, 2018, the stock opened at 31.08, which is the horizontal bar on the left. The high was 31.12, which is the top of the bar. The stock closed at 30.48, which is the horizontal hash on the right side of the bar. And the low for the day was 30.45, which is the bottom of the bar. Now let's take a look at candlestick charts. And let's look at that same day on the candlestick chart. Here on August 13th, everything is the same, the open, high, low, and close. You can see there's a very small wick at the top, which represents where the high of the day was. A very small wick on the bottom. The stock opened at 31.08, as we said, and that's the top of the red body. And it closed at 30.48, which is the bottom of the red body. Now let's take a look at a green candlestick. Let's look at August 31st. We'll see that the stock opened at 30.88. It dropped down to a low of 30.62. It reached a high of 30.95 on the day, and then closed at 30.93. And you can see that the close and the high are very close to each other, so there's almost no wick. You really have to zoom in to see a very tiny wick at the top. So that's how we read a candlestick on a chart. Now let's take a look, again using Bank of America. I'm going to zoom in, and we'll look at some trends in the stock. At the beginning of this chart now, in November of 2017, we have an uptrend in the stock. I'm going to draw a trend line here. So we have the stock moving up in an uptrend. Then the stock moves in a consolidation pattern, and I'll draw a support line. And don't worry, we'll talk about support and resistance in our next video. And a resistance line here. So basically the stock trades sideways in a consolidation pattern. The stock then moves into another uptrend here. And then this is followed by a downtrend when the stock is falling in price here. So here we have a couple of different uptrends. At the beginning of the chart, we have an uptrend as the stock moves from $26 or so to around $32.50. A consolidation pattern as the stock moves from $31.50 to $29. The prices are all shown on the right-hand side of the chart here. And as we move the mouse up and down, you can see the price change. We then have an uptrend here, again as the stock moves to around the $31.50 and $32 level. And then a downtrend as the stock moves from $31.50 back down to the $26 level. So that's how we read a chart in TradingView. That was an example of a line chart, a bar chart, and a candlestick chart. An uptrend, a consolidation pattern, and a downtrend in Bank of America. Thank you for watching this video on how to read a stock chart. In our next video, we're going to be talking about support and resistance. which are two very important concepts in technical analysis. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.